Nothing can hold me back. Nothing can hold me back. You know, like I said, I had to step back, regroup, get a new team, and came back strong.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know. I know.
And 6 eyes to be Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
It's wild, because like if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff.
Why is Terence Bud Crawford greater than Floyd Mayweather? Or better than Floyd Mayweather? Greater is a little bit different. Greater is impact, resume, all that shit, but better. Terence Bud Crawford, after what he did last night, is better than Floyd Mayweather because there is no way Floyd Mayweather would attempt to do that crazy shit. See, that's the insane Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvelous Marvin Hagler after being gone for 5 years.
Floyd Mayweather has delivered a firm reply to Terence Crawford's recent assertion that he is the superior fighter. Meanwhile, top champions such as Dmitry Bivol, Alexander Usyk, and Artur Beterbiev have all expressed agreement that Terence Crawford stands as today's best pound-for-pound boxer, praising his unmatched abilities, adaptability, and dominance across multiple weight divisions against elite-level opposition.
Crawford is amazing, not just good, he's amazing. And
he said the same thing about you.
Thank you, Terence. But I think he should be in the book for
really? Is that good?
How to learn boxing, you know?
Really?
For me, pound for pound, #1 is Terence Crawford. I like this man, it's a great fighter.
I think it's Crawford.
In addition, Terence Crawford explained that he never once pictured himself fighting Floyd Mayweather, emphasizing that he has always been a genuine admirer and supporter rather than someone who sizes up fellow fighters. He stated clearly that he never entertained a fantasy matchup with Mayweather, saying that seeing another fighter as a rival without reason feels like jealousy to him, something he has never directed toward Floyd.
That type of guy, I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll beat it.
Well, you capping, bro. I know you would do like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah?
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll beat it. Never. That's some hate type shit to me.
You like plotting?
Yeah, I ain't never been that type of person.
However, Max Kellerman observed that while Floyd Mayweather's resume is undeniably stronger with more recognizable names and achievements, he was often selective about the timing of his fights after leaving lightweight. Kellerman noted that although Mayweather's speed, skill, and defense were superior, critics believed he avoided certain rivals at their peaks. In contrast, he said Terence Crawford, despite a resume that may appear thinner, has consistently proven a willingness to face anyone at any time, which strengthens his pound-for-pound greatness.
Wild, because like if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring them. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. That makes a difference to.
Furthermore, Bob Arum stated that in a prime-for-prime contest between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford, he would favor Crawford to win. He explained that Crawford is a special kind of fighter with abilities and adaptability that opponents are unaccustomed to encountering. Arum pointed out Crawford's smooth ability to switch stances, something fighters rarely prepare for, and emphasized that his versatility and talent make him an exceptional and unpredictable threat inside the ring.
Who would have won, Crawford or Mayweather, prime for prime?
Crawford.
Really? Why?
Because Crawford is a unique kind of fighter that other fighters haven't seen. And the ability that he has to switch, fighters aren't used to that. They don't train for that. And, I just think Crawford is a very, very unique talent.
Jim Lampley was asked how Terence Crawford at 147 pounds would have matched up against Floyd Mayweather at his peak, and he explained it would be an entirely different kind of fight. He noted that while Errol Spence came in believing he was just as strong offensively as Crawford and discovered otherwise on fight night, Mayweather never held that illusion. Instead, Floyd always recognized himself as a reactive counterpuncher rather than an aggressive pressure fighter. Whatever he did to opponents like Diego Corrales, Lampley said, made Mayweather's dominance a different kind of performance, describing his one-sided victories as more like a paint job compared to the destructive fashion Crawford displayed.
That's a completely different fight, all right, because Spence has been given to believe that he's every bit as good an offensive fighter as Terence Crawford or anybody else that he's going to be in with. So he learned something different Saturday night. But Floyd Mayweather never disabused himself of the understanding that he was a more of a backup counterpuncher than a go-forward counterpuncher, regardless of what he did to Diego Corrales. And that's a different kind of approach and effect than what Crawford achieved the other night. So that a Floyd Mayweather beatdown or one-sided win was much more of a paint job than what Crawford.
Tim Bradley gave his perspective on a potential showdown between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, stating that while Floyd is undoubtedly among the greatest ever, he would lean toward Crawford in such a matchup. Bradley argued that Crawford's versatility, counterpunching, and stance switching equip him with every tool to create major problems for Mayweather. He highlighted how Floyd struggled in the early rounds with Zab Judah, a skilled fighter but not at Crawford's level, and noted that Mayweather was often uneasy against southpaws, sometimes overreaching with his right hand. According to Bradley, making that mistake against a sharp backfoot counterpuncher like Crawford could leave Floyd clipped and potentially knocked out.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather's a GOAT, oh absolutely, but Terence Crawford will whoop his ass. He would beat Floyd Mayweather. I'm telling you right now, he will beat Floyd Mayweather too. He will beat him too. He got everything it takes to beat Floyd. Floyd struggled in the first half against Zab Judah. Zab Judah, a damn terrific fighter, but he ain't no damn Terence Crawford. Especially from the southpaw position. Floyd didn't like fighting southpaws. Floyd reached with that right hand. You think he's gonna reach against one of the best back foot counterpunchers in the game? He gonna reach with that right hand against Crawford? He gonna get slept reaching with that back hand, the way he reaches.
However, Terence Crawford addressed the ongoing comparisons with Floyd Mayweather by saying that Mayweather was the greatest of his own generation. While Crawford views himself as the greatest of his time, he explained that their legacy should not be judged against one another, since both men reached greatness in different eras, making their achievements distinct in their own way.
Everyone is going to start making comparisons with your legacy to Floyd Mayweather. How do you feel you compare with Floyd with the resume you have now?
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
Moreover, when questioned about who would win in a matchup between himself and a prime Floyd Mayweather, Terence Crawford firmly declared that he would win without doubt. He acknowledged Mayweather as one of his favorite fighters but emphasized that his confidence in himself is absolute, insisting he would always trust his own skills over anyone else's.
In a fight, you or prime Floyd?
Me?
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
Furthermore, Terence Crawford praised Floyd Mayweather, saying that even in a prime versus prime clash with Manny Pacquiao, Floyd would still have come out victorious. He explained that Mayweather defeated everyone in his era and that no opponent at 140 or 147 pounds could have beaten him at his peak. Crawford admired Floyd's dedication, stressing that boxing was not just training for him but his entire life, and from the start he aimed to be the best.
If I take Floyd Mayweather in his absolute prime, and I take Manny Pacquiao in his absolute prime,
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd still beats him.
Floyd beat everybody.
You don't believe there's a guy at 140, 147 in the history of boxing that could have beat Floyd in his prime?
It'd be tough. Floyd, man, that boy, man, that's the GOAT, man. That boy bad.
What makes it, I mean, what, because, and I told people this, I said, look at Floyd. I said, Floyd, it's not that he trains, I mean, it's his life. And from the very beginning, he said, I want to be the best.
After experiencing a crushing defeat to Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez was asked to compare him with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Canelo replied that he believes Crawford is far superior to Mayweather, making it clear that in his view, Crawford's skill set and overall ability exceed even what Floyd brought into the ring.
Can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can?
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Shane Mosley shared his perspective on the Crawford versus Mayweather debate, saying he believes Terence Crawford is the superior fighter. He highlighted that Crawford's size, reach, and capacity to move effortlessly through multiple divisions make him a more complete boxer overall. While Mosley acknowledged Mayweather's greatness and flawless record, he argued that Crawford's physical advantages and adaptability would make it hard for Floyd to counter effectively. In Mosley's opinion, those qualities would give Crawford the upper hand in a direct matchup, allowing him to stay in control.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, it's, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Showbiz The Adult analyzed the Crawford versus Mayweather debate by separating greatness from being the better fighter. He explained that greatness refers to legacy and resume, which clearly favors Floyd, but argued that Terence Crawford just proved himself the better fighter through his latest accomplishment. He compared it to Sugar Ray Leonard coming back after years to defeat Marvin Hagler. Showbiz pointed out that Crawford had never fought at middleweight and only once at super welterweight, yet moved all the way to 168 to face one of the greatest middleweights and super middleweights ever, an undisputed champion and pound-for-pound star. He emphasized that such a bold step was unprecedented and something Floyd Mayweather would never have attempted.
Why is Terence Bud Crawford greater than Floyd Mayweather? Or better than Floyd Mayweather? Greater is a little bit different. Greater is impact, resume, all that shit, but better. Terence Bud Crawford, after what he did last night, is better than Floyd Mayweather because there is no way Floyd Mayweather would attempt to do that crazy shit. See, that's the insane Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler after being gone for 5 years type shit.
Redman Edwards stated that a fight between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather would have been extremely close since both excel in different areas, but he urged fans to stop comparing them and allow Crawford to embrace his own greatness. He pointed out that the matchup was never realistic because they belonged to different eras, with Floyd tied to PBC and Crawford being nearly a decade younger. Edwards also criticized how legends like Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. have taken public shots at each other, saying younger fighters look up to them and such behavior sets a poor example.
I don't know, it's a close fight. It's things Floyd do better, it's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, and I'm not going to just lie and just say nothing and make up something just to, I got my opinion on, how the fights will go and, but I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff and I don't like the way things is going with Floyd and Roy. They two guys that a lot of the younger guys look up to and they taking shots at each other in the media because of the who's better and all that kind of stuff. So, I just want to see Bud enjoy his moment. Unfortunately, they didn't fight. They could have made, they kind of two different eras though. Even though they was fighting at the same time, Floyd kind of was doing his different thing over there with PBC, and Bud's a lot young, about 10 years younger than him. So it didn't happen, and we gotta just live.
Jeff Mayweather reflected on Floyd Mayweather's bout with Canelo Alvarez, reminding fans that the result was ruled a majority decision only because Judge C.J. Ross controversially scored it even, while the other two judges had Floyd clearly in front. He emphasized that Canelo was just 23 years old at the time, still developing, while Floyd was 36 and performing at the height of his craft. Jeff noted that despite Floyd's dominant showing, the young Canelo managed to push him into deep waters, which highlighted the talent and danger he already carried at that stage of his career.
We remember, Canelo's at,
you know, that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, you know, into deep waters. So.
Yeah. What was Canelo?
Yeah, very, very young in the game, obviously.
Sean Porter discussed the continuing comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, recognizing the debate over who would prevail in a head-to-head showdown. He admitted there is no definite answer, but praised Crawford as a master tactician who always finds solutions in the ring, comparing him to a chess player with an elite boxing IQ. Porter observed that Crawford is the only other fighter regularly described that way, yet stressed that every era has an OG who cannot be outsmarted. In his opinion, that figure is Floyd Mayweather.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd would win that
yes,
fight.
Sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah, he's a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ in that sense is crazy.
The funny thing about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta have an OG somewhere.
Anybody else? Yeah.
There's an OG somewhere.
Somebody gotta pioneer, right? Yeah, you gotta.
There's an OG you can't out-figure out somewhere, and I just believe Floyd is that OG you can't out-figure out.
That concludes today's video. So, what are your thoughts on this? How do you see Crawford versus Floyd? We would love to hear your opinions on this matchup. Share your thoughts in the comments section and don't forget to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also, check out our other videos showing on the screen right now.